I'm Jim Barry, and welcome once again to Miami Life, the show that takes a closer look and brings you up close to the people who make South Florida the very unique place that it is. Well, enjoying the water, of course, is a big part of life here. And for years, the Miami Yacht Club has taught young people the joys of learning how to sail in summer camps. But this week, it was rocked by tragedy. A barge collided with one of its sailboats, killing 2 young girls and critically injuring 2 others. The tragedy has prompted an investigation to get to the bottom of what happened and why. Our Chelsea Jones brings us up to speed on the latest.
Chopper 4 giving us our first look at the sailboat at the center of this tragedy. The yellow, green, and blue sail left in pieces. The barge that hit it docked on Delado Island in Miami Beach. Video captures the fatal moments a barge hit 5 girls and their camp counselor Monday morning during their last week of sailing summer camp. This is 7-year-old Mila Yankelevich. She died. She is the granddaughter of Chris Morena and Gustavo Yankelevich, 2 prominent Argentinian media producers. Mila's father, Tomas, is a producer and director, and her mother, Sofia Reca, is an actress in Argentina. A 13-year-old girl also died. 2 other girls, ages 8 and 11, are in critical condition. A 12-year-old camper and their 19-year-old counselor were rescued. This tragedy prompting the Miami Yacht Club to close Tuesday. The U.S. Coast Guard Miami sector speaking for the first time at a news conference. At this point, do you guys have any indication whether the barge or the sailboat could have moved first to maybe avoid this collision happening?
We don't right now. We have video that will be part of our investigation.
The Coast Guard says the captain of the barge has been interviewed.
We did do alcohol testing and we have conducted the chemical testing as well.
They are waiting for the results. Speed is also something they're investigating. As you can see on this map, the crash happened not too far from the Miami Yacht Club, right between Hibiscus and Monument Island. Miami Beach Police Chief Wayne Jones saying the 2 vessels in the same waterway is not unusual.
It's not uncommon for our waterways to be heavily used by both commercial vessels and by folks for recreational purposes.
The Coast Guard and several other agencies say they are working hand in hand to answer the many questions that remain.
Know that we grieve with you. We will not take this lightly and we will not forget. We owe you answers and we are committed to finding them.
And Chelsea now joins us to offer even more context on this story. And I think you asked a very key question. That's what I wondered. Who has the right of way here? Was it the barge or was it the sailboat?
And that's a big question that still remains. They acknowledge that, and we still don't have answers today. I mean, right now we've been hearing from attorneys, and they say at this point it's about maneuverability. But I've even been hearing conflicting things about, you know, whether the barge was too heavy and it couldn't move, and then the sailboat is not motorized. So that's really a big question and something that they're looking into.
It's also interesting that, as the police chief of Miami Beach pointed out, it's not uncommon for a commercial vehicle and a recreational vehicle to be in the same body of water.
Right, and a lot of this is a big part of social media right now. You know, you're getting a lot of perspective, and so that question was kind of posed, well, why would that little sailboat be in this channel? And he makes a good point. You made it at the top of this segment, just that Miami is a place, we go to the water, we have fun, it's not uncommon. Both types of vehicle, recreational and commercial vehicles, are there.
You know, it really points out that, frankly, when it comes to the water here in South Florida, it's kind of the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
It's not like getting out there driving on the roads where there's clear and delineated lanes where you're supposed to be or not to be. And so many people are in the water that it is really difficult to police it, isn't it?
It is, but I think something that was key that has come out, something we first reported before any other media outlet, is that campers were saying that everyone on board this sailboat did have life jackets on. So they at least were taking the precautions necessary to be safe out on the water. And I just think it's important to re-emphasize that we're talking children. Their ages 7 to 12 years old impacted by this physically. And then you have all the campers that actually witnessed this. I saw a video today. Hopefully we will hear from him. A therapist, his daughter, was the one that called 911, according to him. He put it on social media. I mean, it's really just a story that's impacting a lot of people. And yeah, there's so many things unknown. We ask questions. We're still waiting to get answers. We're definitely pushing to learn what happened out there.
I know you are. The Miami Yacht Club has a great legacy here in South Florida. Florida.
Yes.
And for generations, it has really been a lifeline to help people enjoy the water.
Yes, and safely, and learn how to do it. I mean, you got to think this is a club that has been around for decades. I mean, I see people saying, hey, like, I was a part of that. My kids were a part of it 20 years ago. So it definitely has a reputation, a solid one here in this community. I imagine that there are a lot of things that are in place to make sure that things are safe. This is just a horrific accident at this point. Yeah. That's what we know. But I mean, time will tell. The investigation will reveal what really happened. But the video sucks. I mean, just putting it frankly. Yep, sure and it's a really tragic situation.
What do we know about some of the girls involved here?
So at this point, we know that the youngest victim, Mila Yankelevich, she is the daughter of a prominent Argentinian family. Her grandmother, her parents, they are all producers and actresses. That's her right there on your screens. Beautiful little girl, full of life, as you can see in some of the pictures and videos. Look at her, you know, having a good time with her family. We learned that her grandmother, Chris, that's who you're looking at right here, has landed here in Miami, I imagine, to be with the family. And then we also are hearing new information about who the other deceased victim might be. I don't have any confirmation on that, so I don't want to release any names, but we also know that there were two other girls, 8 and 10 is the new information we're learning, are in the hospital right now, still in critical condition. One might be on life support. So just terrible, terrible thing. There's a prayer chain, I know, that is out there as people try to just hope for the best in their recovery. Yeah, we will certainly join that prayer chain. Chelsea, thanks for bringing us up to date. I know you'll stay on top of this story. Absolutely. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Up next on Miami Life, bridging the gap.
The reality that honestly one of the biggest centers, economic centers in Aventura, is still somewhat inaccessible from this form of transportation is absolutely critical.
Brightline's Aventura station is about as close as you can get to Aventura Mall, but it may as well be miles away. Find out if a long-promised bridge is finally close to being built. Welcome back. So close, yet so far away. The Aventura Brightline station is right across from the Aventura Mall on the opposite side of Biscayne Boulevard. But it may as well be miles away because there is no pedestrian bridge to allow easy access from one to the other. What's the holdup in building one? Austin Carter went searching for answers.
As Brightline pulls into the Aventura station, you'll see the Aventura Mall right outside the window.
I took the Brightline here.
For passengers like Kathy Dos Santos, this fence and the traffic is the only thing keeping her from the best mall in America, according to USA Today.
People are not going to leave their car behind, even if it's a really short trip, if they cannot safely and conveniently get there.
Accessibility is key to a smooth commute. It's why she's advocating for better public transportation in our area with Transit Alliance Miami.
The reality that honestly, one of the biggest centers, economic centers in Aventura, is still somewhat inaccessible from this form of transportation is absolutely critical.
Right now, you only have two options getting to the mall, rideshare or a 2-mile walk. Google Maps estimating it would take close to 45 minutes on foot from the station to the mall. You either have to walk up here to Ives Dairy or down to 186th and then head east. The train station and the mall could not be any closer. With the help of Drone 4, you can see all that separates the platform from the mall is busy Biscayne Boulevard. There's about 10 lanes combined in some spots, but the city tells me this pedestrian problem won't be around for long. That's because Brightline has completed all the steps needed to start construction. Take a look, Chopper 4 spotting pieces of that bridge sitting in the parking lot of the train station. The city says, in part, they're excited for the bridge. And the Aventura Mall says that the bridge is a key step in improving access between Brightline and the shopping. And check this out, public records submitted to the city showing what that walkover bridge will look like. Brightline expects construction to start this summer or early fall and will take about 8 months to finish. Kathy is looking forward to it.
We need to build that first and last mile, ideally from the beginning. Having that alternative is, I do believe, a game changer.
In Aventura, I'm Austin Carter, CBS News, Miami.
Still to come, studying the ocean's apex predators. We'll explain why local scientists love seeing sharks in nearby waters and what they hope to learn from them. Miami Life is back in just a moment. Well, as we know, shark sightings are nothing new at all in South Florida, but they still get a lot of attention. Our Dave Warren went out on the water to see why we see sharks so often and what that means for our ecosystem.
A shark reeled in miles off the coast of Fort Lauderdale in May.
You're being very brave.
Just weeks later, a little girl bitten off the Gulf Coast. Shark stories are everywhere.
The thing that we like to say is if you're in water and it's salty, there's probably a shark nearby.
For Catherine McDonald and her team from the University of Miami Shark Research and Conservation Program, that's exactly what they're hoping for. This nurse shark was one of many they caught today.
We'll take a few small tissue samples, a blood sample, and some measurements that we can use to study the health of sharks here.
Here being Biscayne Bay. Turns out it's a perfect place for researchers to monitor shark populations over the long term. In 2024 alone, they reeled in and tagged more than 550 sharks. The bay perfect for these species to have and raise their young, but it is changing.
Because South Florida's estuaries are warming about 6.9 times faster than the global ocean, there's reason to be concerned that between all of these human impacts and warming, we may see this habitat become less good for them as time goes on.
For Delaney Reynolds, preserving this habitat is a calling.
I actually went on my first shark tagging trip with the University of Miami in high school, and I knew the second that I stepped on that boat that this was something that I wanted to do.
She's been doing that for years now as a PhD student at the University of Miami.
What we're seeing is that there is some migration with warmer waters of different species northward, which is affecting fisheries.
From that first tagging trip to now this. Reynolds working with these summer scholars, taking part in their first shark tagging trip.
Great. You get kind of like an adrenaline feeling when they come on board because you just put those lines in and you wait for them to bite, and then when they finally come, it's really exciting.
They're high school students that come here from across the country.
So I really wanted to explore this aquatic wildlife and you know, enjoy the ocean and learn more.
Exploring firsthand with a team of researchers.
Every time we see a shark, it's not only the summer scholars who are excited, but my team as well.
And excitement felt 4 times when 3 nurse sharks and a black-tip shark were all reeled in and tagged. So no matter what the species, the students and researchers like what they see today. Researchers tell us the number of sharks here is mostly stable or even increasing slightly. That's good news for our environment.
Sharks being present in an ecosystem is usually a good sign for how well that ecosystem is functioning.
That's good so far. But something these current and potential future scientists will continue to monitor.
Strong work, guys. So all of the research that they found today, the researchers and the potential future researchers will analyze and see how all of the waters in and around South Florida are changing. On Virginia Key, I'm Dave Warren for CBS News Miami.
All right, thank you, Dave Warren. Well, listen, the dog days of summer are here, no doubt about it. It is hot, and weather conditions are making it feel even hotter. The heat's been on not just here, but all across much of the country, it seems, and that's why we're talking to our chief meteorologist, Ivan Cabrera. Ivan, straight it out for us, fact or fiction, has it really been hotter this summer than it has been before?
A little bit and not, because so the month of July has actually been a little bit cooler, right? But overall, yes, one of the hottest summers. We keep talking about that every year. You go to your car, I mean, it's just a few steps and all of a sudden you feel it. Here, of course, is the humidity. They have brutal heat waves in the Northeast. But here is where we rank as far as July, nowhere near the top 5 or even top 10. 23, remember that a couple of years ago, we were in it. I mean, that was brutal stuff. Warmest July on record. We are 24th right now. So I know it has felt hot, and it has been, and with the humidity, it makes it feel even hotter. I think the key has been, Jim, that we haven't had as many thunderstorms to cool us off in the afternoon, and that's why we're in this drought. But just overall, the trend across the U.S. is up, 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 right? We never show you blue colors. It's always red, and Miami specifically is running since 1970, 3 degrees warmer than back then. So no question, it's getting hotter.
It's interesting because people who grew up here say, you know what, I've lived here my whole life, and right, and it just feels hotter now than it did when I was a kid.
Absolutely, and we don't get as many cold waves. I remember back in the 80s, goodness, you could get, all of a sudden multiple years where temperatures would fall into the 20s, 30s. We had that big citrus, crop, that freeze that we had in the 80s, and now it's all about how much hotter is it going to get? And of course, that's human-induced climate change. There's no way around that. That is what's causing that, and everything else that we talk about that as an extreme.
And we saw some of the people working outdoors day in and day out, and so I really feel for them because it's really tough on them. How do they cope?
Yeah, and you know, the mayor, Miami-Dade mayor, recently worked with the National Weather Service to lower the threshold for the heat criteria. So now we have heat advisories when it hits 105 instead of 108, which was the old one. I mean, think about it. You're outside, you're working. These folks, you know what they're doing, but at some point, it just gets too unbearable with the humidity. You can't cool off, and if you don't get thunderstorms, look at that sky. I mean, that makes me feel hot already just looking at that without storms. This is where you want to be, but if you're working outside, that's not an option in the afternoon.
No, it's not. So what do? We need to plant more trees, don't we? Quick, fast, in a hurry.
I think we need to reduce CO2s, fossil fuels. That's the only way to do it, and we can recycle as much as we want, but it's up to governments across the planet to really just get in on the CO2 emissions. That's going to cool the atmosphere, and that's the only way we get back to the 80s. I like that.
Wow, yeah, and just hold out until November in the meantime.
Indeed.
Ivan, thank you so much. Appreciate that. We'll be right back with more on Miami Life in just a minute. Okie dokie. Next week in Miami Life, we're going to celebrate one of the great natural resources in South Florida. That's the people who live here. From the street corner preacher who shares his faith to the tire salesman who moonlights as an artist, as well as the owners of one of the most unique gyms in town. We're going to bring you the stories. A special Persons of Interest episode is coming your way next week on Miami Life. Finally, move over, Judge Judy. Some Florida kids this summer are holding court. Literally, the Children's Advocacy Center of Southwest Florida hosted Kids Court. It gave the youngsters a chance to argue cases in a mock courtroom setting in front of a real judge, while also putting their dads on the hot seat.
I do find probable cause on all counts.
Judge Robert Branning is used to hearing pleas.
And why do you want a corgi dog?
Because I want to play with it. Lana has one just because.
But maybe not like this.
Okay.
He kept the robes, but ditched some coffee for apple juice this weekend. The Lee County judge presiding over Kids Court on Saturday.
We're going to begin by giving you a corgi right now.
Held by the Children's Advocacy Center of Southwest Florida, kids got to make their case with a real prosecutor.
One request was just 1 day a year to be able to stay up late.
In front of a real judge.
A lot of fun. The kids made some really good points.
With dads on the defense.
Feel like I won, but everybody said that I lost.
JJ Wheeler is with Level Up Dads. It's a program at the center designed to help dads spend more time with their kids and learn something new.
We wanted to do a day where people could come and learn about the basics of the justice system and the court system.
It was a request the judge was happy to grant, taking questions from kids and dads.
How do you stay neutral in hearing everything?
My role is to take the law and apply that law impartially.
Not everybody got what they want.
I still feel like we should be going to Puerto Rico and Pennsylvania.
But both parents and kids say they got something out of it.
I really did enjoy seeing her stand up, be confident in front of the judge, and plead her case.
Thank y'all.
That's something very important for young people to learn. That does it for this week's edition of Miami Life. Remember, we'll see you every Thursday for Miami Life at 6:30 on the stream. And you can also watch all Miami Life episodes on demand on our YouTube channel. I'm Jim Berry. Thanks for watching. See you next time.